Hey, what's going on, my friends? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor, and today I'm going to share with you 10 superpowers that all Lightworkers possess. By now, if you're watching this, I can safely assume you have an understanding of what a Lightworker is. I personally am not at all attached to this term. I see Lightworker as someone who feels an inner calling to help the whole and serve humanity in some way that has to do with expanding consciousness and healing. Okay, and there's 1,000,001 ways to go about doing that. But again, a lot of Lightworkers, they don't feel as powerful as they are because they feel alone. They have a lot of kind of unique challenges that they can't really even talk to other people about. And it can be this sort of, it can seem like a heavy burden being a light worker when it's not. So the purpose of this video is to bring to light, no pun intended, your inherent superpowers that I know you're going to resonate with, especially number 7. Number 7 is going to blow your mind, okay? These are very powerful powers that all Lightworkers possess, and when you can bring them all to the forefront, you can go forth in life as the powerful force of positive change that you actually are. Number 1, you have the ability to exemplify to an unusual degree authenticity. Because for you, my friend, and you probably have found this, when you aren't being authentic, when you're trying to play a role, even if it makes sense to play that role around certain people, it just won't feel right. You not being really almost perfectly authentic will feel very off. They'll feel like you're just out of sync, out of alignment. There's no more support, like divine support. There's no more flow in your life, and you can tend to run into a lot of resistance and complications and problems. So that being the case, it's just sort of natural that we all will wise up and say, okay, I'm just going to be authentic. I'm just going to be myself because that's what feels the best, that feels the safest. That's what seems to have the best result in my life. But not everyone, in fact, a lot of people unfortunately don't have this level of self-awareness. And that's why there's so much unconsciousness wreaking havoc in the world, because not everyone has such an internal governor that says, nope, nope, you're out of alignment, you're out of alignment here, don't do that. It's very obvious to you when you're in your authenticity. And then you know what, how beautiful that is? A lot of people, you probably have discovered, aren't living their authentic lives because they're afraid of what might happen. They're afraid there'll be bigger problems associated with doing that. And they're just timid to do it. But when they see you, even though they don't know that you're almost forced to be in alignment with your authenticity, but when people see you out there doing whatever it is you do on the road, just being yourself, it gives them courage and allows them to give themselves permission to, like, okay, well, this person's being themselves. This person seems like they're being authentic. Maybe if they can do it, maybe if they can do it, I can do it. And that is a superpower. That is beyond, that superpower doesn't even do that quality that you all possess naturally justice. Number 2, you have the ability, and it's in your nature to respond to the darkness in whatever way it manifests with love. You have the ability to feel loving towards bad people, tragic situations, gross injustices. Because you're a light worker, because you're connected to a high an expanded state of consciousness that's quite rare on the planet, you can see that any bad person is really just someone who is unconscious and unaware that they're acting out these patterns. They're just not, it's like, forgive them for they know not what they do. It's like that. And just as the vantage point you just naturally look at life from allows you to feel compassion and love for the quote-unquote darkness. And man, how beautiful is that? In fact, there's been times I've seen just how powerful this is. As a YouTuber, I sometimes get negative comments, as you can probably imagine, especially talking about this kind of stuff. And in the past, it would really bug me and get to me, but as of the last couple of years, what I do now when I see a really negative comment, I let my nerves settle, and then I'll respond consciously with love. I'll just say something very nice, like, you know what, I'm sorry that you're feeling upset, and I'm sorry I pissed you off. I don't blame you, it's okay, I dig it, we're cool. And when I respond with love to the darkness, you know what happens? The people end up always apologizing and saying, Vic, I'm so sorry, man, it was just having a bad day. When you can respond to the darkness with love, you transmute it. You don't have to fight against it, you can just love it. And that will cause it to change itself. And that is exactly what is needed right now on this planet. Another rare quality and superpower you possess is you have the ability, and many of you already have, to remember, to sort of tap into and bring into your conscious awareness in this lifetime your soul connection. You might start to realize that you have connections to the other side, whether it's like extraterrestrials, angels, mermaids, whatever. You have all these other aspects, other ways that your soul experiences itself in parallel realities and other lifetimes, past lives, future lives, and you are able to kind of become aware of some of this stuff that's relevant for you. And when you can become aware, really truly aware of your divinity, wow, how comforting is that? And that's one of the reasons why you can respond with calm and compassion, not always, of course, but at times, to circumstances where a lot of people respond with fear. For example, like a real bad hurricane. None of us like to see a hurricane, devastate a city and maybe harm and uproot people's homes and whatnot. But the Lightworker can look at that same situation because they're so connected to the other side and have a knowing, a straight up knowing, a real faith that this seemingly unfortunate circumstance is actually a cleansing. It's what's needed. It's going to indirectly benefit people in ways they don't even see coming. Yeah, their house might have to be rebuilt, but that same person who went through that hurricane, they might feel a connection with their neighbors as they band together, and the social status is wiped clean. They recognize that, you know what? What really matters is our life, love, relationships, people. And the Lightworker can kind of see all of that because of that connectedness to their spiritual perspective and their divinity. Number 4, more of an obvious superpower of the Lightworker is that they have the ability to and already are becoming extremely psychic. Being extremely psychic, like really psychic, is common and almost a given to the Lightworker. Now, this will express itself in many different ways. A lot of Lightworkers don't feel super psychic because they're not seeing visions all the time or floating out of their body every night. It's not like that. A lot of Lightworkers just know things. A lot of Lightworkers can just feel things. Like, is this job gonna work for me? No. Why? I can feel it. There's all these different sort of subtle yet powerful ways that psychic abilities can play out or manifest for the Lightworker, but the Lightworker will and is becoming very, very psychic. And psychic is it's not a special trait per se. It's not. It's just a natural it's a natural byproduct of existing in an expanded state of awareness. Psychic abilities are natural functions of consciousness. And when we expand our awareness, which we're all doing, all the Lightworkers anyway, and pretty much everybody else as well, these psychic abilities, these special powers just start to be part of our everyday life to the point where it becomes just normal and not even unusual. It just becomes normal. Lightworkers have the ability to channel source in pretty much anything they do. Now, what does that mean, channel source? Well, a lot of people, they refer to God or the God energy, pretty much the source of all that is, of all creation, people call source. And light workers have the ability and oftentimes just will naturally find themselves channeling this like universal energy into their art, into what they say, into the way they communicate, and the way what they write, the way they interact with people, into the way they just build up their life, their pursuits, their own goals, their own ambitions. They're all fueled and channeled by source. Where a lot of light workers are nothing more than a conduit for source energy to express itself out there in the world. And source energy, life energy, wants to help and uplift itself. And oftentimes it will through you, through your inspirations, through your motivations to just live your life in an authentic way. That's in a sense channeling source energy. But the way it plays out more practically is sometimes you might find you're either thinking something, you say something, you respond to someone, you paint something, you create something, and you wonder, how did I do such a good job there? Where did that come from? Well, it didn't really come from you in this sort of limited little character you've been living for the past 10, 20, 30, 50, 80 years. No, it's because you opened up enough to bring it through you from something much bigger, source energy, as they say. Another perk of being a light worker is your ability to receive guidance and protection from your spirit guides in a conscious way. Everyone has a spirit team watching over them. And the spirit guides are always trying to hook you up with good ideas that resonate and guidance. And you, as a light worker, you're able to receive this guidance in a usable way. Now, you might think it's coming from you. In a sense, it is, depending on how you want to look at it. But you have these spirit guides, these benevolent souls that you have connections with that are always with you, and you're waking up to a degree where you can perceive their influence, their positive influence in your life. Okay? And it's a pretty valuable asset to have for obvious reasons. Number 7, something that is sort of relatively a new concept to me, but something I realize I'm doing, something I'm realizing we're all doing, and this is sort of the shocking part of the video, is that light workers have the unspeakably rare and much needed ability to not only heal themselves. That's what a lot of you are doing right now. Your life is sort of situating itself to promote healing, as you have probably noticed. But you are able to heal so well that you are currently healing your ancestral karma. Think about that. The reason your parents were the way they were, they might have screwed you up a little bit. Well, why do you think they were the way they were? Well, their parents, your grandparents sort of brought that through into them, and so on down the line. And there's so much karmic ancestral momentum that you've just come into this incarnation and taken it all on. And as you start chipping away at your own life problems, you get deep enough to where you're starting to realize the correlation between your life problems and the problems of your ancestors. It's all connected. And as you continue to heal yourself and just go through your processing, as I know you all are doing, you are helping your ancestors. You're helping them and these parallel incarnations. They're living out right now in this moment, these painful cycles. And by you connecting to them and healing them through your own mission, your Lightworker mission, you are healing so much. Not only are you squashing this momentum of unconsciousness for your children and your children's children and future generations, but you are literally healing all of these other ties, ancestral ties you are connected to in like other worlds and other planes. I know that sounds wacky, but I bet you resonate with it. It's true. It's true. We are not just healing this planet, this now. We are healing so much more. And it's so powerful. And it's a superpower, if I ever heard one. And it's a very noble thing to come and do, because it's not easy. It's not easy just to be aware of some of the things that have taken place, but you're transmuting it, you're healing it, and thank you for that, because it's a beautiful thing. Lightworkers have the ability naturally to avoid the chaos. What I mean by that is there's a collective shift going on, if you haven't noticed. And it does sometimes come with collective manifestations, shootings and hurricanes and climate changes that are sort of abrupt and destructive sometimes. There's a lot of chaos going on the world stage and on the surface of the earth right now. But the Lightworkers are here to help and to heal and to transform. So you can rest assured that you don't have to really be on guard against any of this stuff. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to watch the news and become afraid. For you, my friend, will naturally, intuitively just guide yourself around through synchronicity, through your own inner guidance, away from anything that would be a real threat. Okay? You don't have to think about it. You'll just motivate yourself to be in the ideal circumstances just with your own excitement, your own joy, rather than needing to be on guard and fearful. Because the Lightworker, they can sometimes become overly aware of the negativity on the planet, and that can cause a lot of fear. But you don't have to fear, because you possess this really heightened degree of intuition that will allow you to kind of be where you need to be where it's safe, be where it's good, so that you can continue on doing your very valuable work right here, right now. You have the ability, the superpower to change people's lives. We all do. We all can change a person. Anyone can change someone's life. But you will find that over the course of your life, you will have changed a lot of people's lives in very profound, deep ways, okay? And the satisfaction of doing that makes it more than worthwhile being here right now. A lot of Lightworkers, they become aware of their connections to the stars or something, for example, and they feel like they don't belong here, like I just want to leave. Why am I here? This place sucks. It's so negative. It's a lost cause. And I understand all that, and I felt all that. But what I can tell you is this: when you really continue to go on your journey, you will start in some way, shape, or form helping other people. Whether it's through something obvious like writing a book or something, or just from just being like a really nice, happy person that you go out into the grocery store and you brighten people's energy just with your own energy and your own smile, your warm smile. Regardless, you start to become aware of the fact that you're affecting change, you're affecting people, you're uplifting people. And the feeling of doing that, it makes all of the stuff I just said completely worthwhile. And I'm not just saying that, that's true. Real happiness, real satisfaction, deep states of spiritual bliss are available to anyone who seeks to help and uplift their brothers and sisters. And that's something you will just do naturally. Lastly, and very, very importantly, you have the unique ability to forgive. There's probably been things that you've forgiven in other people that are surprising, where people would look at that and say, you don't need to forgive that person. They don't deserve your forgiveness, screw them. But you know the weight of the heavy burden of resentment. You know those who have wronged you. Not that you condone it, not that you agree with it, not that you want to go through it again. But you know they were literally just unconsciously acting out patterns that they inherited from their own karma, their own ancestry. And in a sense, they weren't really aware of what they were doing fully. And if they were as aware as you are, they wouldn't have done that. And regardless of all that, it does no good to be bitter about things that happen to us. Like, there's been a lot of unfortunate things that happened to me You know, growing up, I was hit by a firecracker when I was like 10 years old, watching a fireworks show. Out of like 100 people, big firecracker tipped over and shot at yours truly, directly right at me. I have scars to this day on my body. The anxiety from going through that led to eventually a heroin addiction because I was so depressed and so anxious. And I just had a lot of pain. I just sort of fell into my lap. But I've come to peace with all of that. I don't blame anyone or anything for what has happened to me, because I see everything that's happened to me as a blessing. There's this song I've been digging lately, and one of the lyrics is, "Your darkness is shining." All the bad things that happened to me, so long as I can kind of forgive and accept, then that pain, that anguish, that darkness can shine. It can make my Lightworker aura brighter. It can help me heal people more deeply. It can help me tap into those satisfying feelings of doing so. And Lightworkers have come to transmute darkness in every sense of the word. Okay? And that's so powerful and so needed. Anyways, hopefully this video psyched you up a little bit. That's the intention, to really make you realize who and what you are and what you came to do, and the fact that it's a blessing. You chose to be here now because of all the things I just said. So did I. Okay, so it's time to really ground into that and appreciate that. When you can really honor and embrace who you are and why you're here, your life can take on a whole new tint. Your life can really begin to flourish and blossom in ways that you can't even imagine, okay? This is something I've literally experienced in my own life, okay? And I've watched thousands of other people go through this same shift. So with that said, I'm gonna bounce. I hope you all enjoyed this video. You have an amazing day, my friend. Good luck with everything. I'll be here for another video in a few days. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and subscribe. I talk about a lot of this kind of stuff that I discussed in this video. If you liked it, great. If not, that's fine. No, just kidding. Have an amazing day, my friends. Peace.